Welcome to Modern Motoring and welcome to the 2026 BMW M240i. I call it the middle child of the 2 Series lineup, and well, it can be the middle child for the 3 Series or the 4 Series, because there's the M240i, there is, but not for much longer, the M340i and the M440i. So let's get started with our baseline numbers, and we run through the familiar B58 engine, 3-liter turbocharged 6-cylinder, 382 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque, all through an all-wheel drive system and an 8-speed automatic. 390 liters of cargo space, so it's not too bad. You can still run it around as a daily driver with decent cargo space, and it's a 2+2 configuration back there. So 4 passengers, well, 3 passengers and a driver in total. And on the fuel consumption side, and this is one of the perks I'll get into, it registers at 9 liters per 100 kilometers combined, and pair that with a 52-liter fuel tank, and you can go almost 600 kilometers, in theory, per full tank. On the perk side, it's going to be the drive feel, and it's such a balanced feel as well. And yeah, you want to get real exciting and do a bunch of fun stuff with this and really see what the M240i could do, put it in Sport or Sport Plus or Sport Individual, and that will give you all of the happiness that the M240i can deliver. You want something relatively well balanced, go for comfort, and if you're looking to save a little bit of fuel, or you're in a lot of, let's say, urbanized traffic conditions where it's a lot of stop and go, throw it down to Eco, and you'll lose a little bit of the excitement, but it's still an M240i at the end of all of it, because it's low to the ground and it's a coupe. You have that extremely stay flat feeling around twists and turns, and it corners extremely well at that. Straight line acceleration is extremely good. I'm in Eco right now, and let's take a quick listen. Oh, was not expecting that in an Eco. But yeah, and there it is, right? So comfort's going to give you more, and one of the 3 sport variants is going to give you an enhanced version of that. Another perk here, and I think it only relates to me, maybe a few others out there, because it's so low to the ground, it is extremely easy to put a kayak on. And I'm an avid kayaker, and I put a kayak on this yesterday, and no problems, no heavy lifting, no having to use a step to get up to the top of the car like I did with the, I believe it was a 2021 X7, and I got my kayak the week before, and the X7 was the biggest press car I've put my kayak on. Anyway, so if you want to strap a roof box or something onto the top of the M240i, or I guess anything 2 Series, 3 Series, 4 Series, it's definitely a lot easier compared to one of the BMW crossovers. Next up is the fuel economy, which I touched on before, and for a big old 3-liter 6-cylinder turbocharged engine, having those fuel figures at 9 liters per 100 kilometers combined, pretty impressive. And I know there's a lot of strict fuel regulations in Canada as well as the States. The fact that the engineers have made it so it's not double digits is pretty impressive. Again, this is liters per 100 kilometers combined. The next perk has a little bit to do with the 2 Series, but mostly with the 2, 3, and 4, where it's the versatility here. So if you want a coupe, you go for the 2. You want a sedan, you go for the 3. And if you want a hatchback, liftback, or 4-door coupe, which is the weirdest collection of words I've seen strung together, you go for the 4 Series. And again, all of them have the M variant version of it. So I'm going to call that an absolute perk, because different lifestyles have different needs, and you know, maybe you're in my lifestyle where you don't have any kids and it's primarily just you in the vehicle. And in that case, you know, maybe look at the 2. If you have a couple of passengers here and there and you want something with a little more space in the rear seat that fits 3 people instead of 2 people that you have here, look at the 3. And if you want something with more cargo space and that lift back, then obviously it's going to be the 4 Series for you. Next perk is the iDrive system, and it does have the rotary controller, and some people don't like it, some people love it. I'm in the love it camp. It keeps the screen free of fingerprints, or at least minimal fingerprints, and it's so intuitive to use, and you've got your shortcut buttons right next to the dial. The screen itself is great. It's high res, easy to use, very smartly laid out system of controls, but I'll be sad when this dial system goes away, and well, we know it is going away. The last perk is that you can get this M240i spec'd with a track pack. Now, it's not the same as a full M vehicle. M vehicle has a lot more of the performance parts. There's a lot more power coming out of it. But if you want just a little extra oomph or an exclamation point added to your M240i, the track pack comes with 19-inch wheels, and they are the Pilot Sport 4S's. You have the adaptive end suspension, you have larger front brakes, and you can also tack on an M Performance exhaust, for $3,000. At least that's $3,000 at the time of publishing this video. On the Quirks side, I only have two, and the first one is one I've mentioned for years and years and years. It's the size of the M badge on the sides of the vehicle, and it's so small and tiny, and it just seems that it could be or should be a little larger. Now, I'm not saying, make it the size of a hand, but it just seems that it kind of came as an afterthought. Completely cosmetic, should have exactly zero impact on a buying decision. And the other quirk I have is they're still using the old school BMW steering wheel, and I like it. I think it's a delightful setup. And at the end of the turn signal stalk, you have two buttons. One is for the adaptive high beams, automatic high beams, and the other one is BC, which stands for board computer, and that's how you change a lot of what you see as far as information goes on the instrument cluster. On to the Irks side of things, I have three. One's a bit of an asterisk, and we'll start with that one. There's no manual, and if people bought more manuals, there would be more manuals, but people aren't buying them, and therefore that's why there are fewer and fewer and fewer. It's just a supply and demand thing, and as a manual enthusiast myself, I don't want to shift as fast as a computer ever will. I don't. I want to enjoy the feeling of the road, of being in control, of changing my own gears, but I realize I am in the minority for that part of it. The second Irk is not a new one. It's the climate controls being baked into the infotainment screen. Fixed bar right at the bottom, which is nice, but I wouldn't mind a few more physical buttons. Not all, but just some. And the last Irk is getting into the rear seats. It's a pretty slow process. Once you lift that little lever over my left shoulder on the back of the seat back, basically you just lift it and push the seat forward, and the seat back goes forward pretty easily, but it's the seat bottom that takes a little while to go all the way forward to give your passengers access to that second row of seats. Let's get wrapped up with pricing and competition. Your MSRP figure for the 2026 BMW M240i, $62,900. And if you want something a little less powerful, but you still want a 2 Series, you're looking at the 230, and that's going to ring in at $51,500. You want to go all the way to the top, well, second from the top, you can look at the M2 automatic for $86,500 or the M2 manual for an even $90,000. So I think there's enough separation that there's not going to be a lot of cross shopping. I think if you want the 2 Series, just for the sake of it being a 2 Series, you're looking at the 230. The M240i is a very deliberate purchase as well. You like to have a BMW coupe, you want a little bit of power, you like the B58 engine, then 240i, but if you want to go full tilt, top shelf, you're looking at either the M2 automatic or manual. On the competition side, it's really anything that has 2 doors to it, really. You can look at the Ford Mustang, you can look at the Nissan Z here in Canada, the Mercedes CLE, maybe BRZ, and I know it doesn't have power figures like this at all. It's probably half the amount, but you want a performance-ish based coupe, that's going to be on your list as well. And there's a bunch of other competitors. I know maybe you're also looking at the M340i while it's still here. It's turning into the 350, I believe, with the hybrid powertrain coming next year, or the M440i. So there's not really a shortage of coupes. Not all of them offer manual either. A quick and weird lane change to say that Chrysler's minivan sales have been up the last few years, and with the massive decline in them, and only 4, well, technically 5, being available in 2026, seeing that increase is refreshing. And some of the sedan segments are up a little bit as well. Will it be the end of the SUV? No. But the market is changing and things go in cycles. And how that relates to this is that I'm happy that there are still coupes available. Very, very niche ones. You know, there's not a lot of Nissan Zs on the road. There's not a lot of these on the road. Same thing with the Mustang or the BRZ or whatever else it is, but they are still here. They are not going away anytime soon. So with that, I'll wrap up on the 2026 BMW M240i. Let me know if you have any questions. I will get you answers as soon as possible. I invite you to join the Modern Motoring social media platforms. That sounded weird. I invite you to join the Modern Motoring social media platforms. And of course, without you, there is no Modern Motoring. So I thank you, I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.